Instead, his wife goes out and leaves a 2-star review. And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm not willing to. Now you leave me a 2-star review. Okay, now I'm not really interested in helping you anymore. Welcome to Cue the Mic. I'm Darren Worth.
And I'm Randy Twyford.
And I'm Emma Derflinger, and this is episode 95.
95.
Guys, we are 5
Opposite
episodes
of
away
59.
from 100. Not how that works. We are 5 episodes away from 100.
Wow, you can count. Wow. You must have went to school before. Never mind.
Never
We
mind.
won't get
We're not a political.
I don't know why we're being mean right off the bat. We're just having such a nice chat. That was uncalled for.
Hey, I got
It's
a
more
question.
of like an excitement thing.
I got a question for you, Darren. You've posted out there about those grouper cheeks.
Yeah.
Can you enlighten us on how you cook those?
Oh, so grouper cheeks. Now, and I've never found grouper cheeks anywhere else except for I can buy them at the farmer's market here, frozen, but I have this little seafood market up the street that I can walk to. Like it's like catty cornered across from my house. Like it's a block and a half away.
Right.
And so they're just like little, I mean, they're probably $50 size. Sometimes they're a little bigger.
Really?
And if you feel them, they're like really tough. They're not like, they're tough. And all I do is you season them, and I'm a big temperature guy, right? So when I'm cooking fish, I cook fish to an exact temperature.
And what is that?
Well, it depends on the fish.
Okay.
But grouper cheeks are like a 145 to me.
Okay.
And so I'll cook them on the flat top. I'll just put a little bit of oil, spray oil. I have my handy dandy, you see in the background over there. I got one of them Amazon spray oil things. You can't see it over there.
You can't see it.
I'm
It's
pointing
kind of
it.
cut half off.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it's cut off.
Yeah, let me get it for you. Because this is very important.
Nice outfit this morning.
I was going to say I wasn't ready to see him in basketball shorts.
Yeah, sorry. Those basketball shorts are my old ones that don't fit. So this thing,
Really?
now I'll get haters because you're supposed to buy this with a green bottle. No, so this was my first purchase, and it was a clear bottle. So the ones I bought at home are green bottles. So you put your oil
Hang
in
on.
here.
Time out. What's the
Why?
difference between the clear and the green bottle?
Well, so olive oil always comes in a green bottle to keep it from spoiling.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Okay.
So oil stays better. That's why when you buy olive oil, you should always buy it in a green bottle.
Okay.
Don't buy cheap stuff that's in a clear bottle. Now, I'm not sure if that's true for every oil. I don't think that's true for every oil, but true olive oil needs to be kept dark and cool.
Right.
Okay? So this sprayer is a mister, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you, instead of having spray Pam,
Right.
you just fill this. Now, I use avocado oil. I like avocado oil. And sometimes I use grapeseed oil if I'm using it on the flat top. But this thing, you just press it and it sprays. But then it also has a flip up thing that you can pour.
That you can.
That's
I'll be
actually
damned.
sick.
And you can buy this on Amazon for like $9.
Send that Amazon link to me and I'll put it in the description.
What would you call that, Darren?
Well, Randy, let me look this up. Let's look it up. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves,
Okay.
because then I have
Hi,
to
Randy.
go to. I have
Hello.
to go
Emma.
to.
How are you? It's a lovely
I'm good,
morning
how are
out,
you?
isn't it?
Yeah.
I have to.
I haven't
go
been
to,
outside yet.
I haven't either.
I'm outside, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can
thank you
tell.
very
We
much.
can hear the
Yeah,
birds.
Yeah. Oh, you can hear the birds.
Yeah.
Aren't they so pretty? I mean, the weather. We're just in this glut here. in Florida, we're stuck in this 82-degree weather every day.
Oh, fuck.
Cry me a river.
I mean, it's
Holy
really bad. It's
fuckloads.
really bad.
Your life is
Okay.
so hard.
So
Oh.
this is really called, and I don't know. I'm just going to forward this to Emma. It's called this
Do you-
olive oil dispenser bottle, the one that I bought for home, which is a black one. Okay, it's a black one with gray. Yeah. Or you can get bubble gum or green, or you can get all kinds of different colors.
Oh.
$9.99.
But just a dispenser bottle.
It's a dispenser bottle, so instead of spending all that money on spray Pam, you just spray it. And you just click it, and and
Nice.
it's amazing. I love it. They were on TikTok viral. Boy, I went dark, didn't I?
Yeah, you did something happen to your
Yeah,
life.
it's the natural sunlight from being outside.
Damn it. That's okay.
We can still see you.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
It'll be
I'm
fine.
over here. Oh, wait.
There you go. You're just the sun
There you go.
is in the way.
How did that work?
The sun. I don't know. You just refocused your camera.
Oh,
Technology, man.
wow.
But
That's interesting.
it is interesting.
So anyway, so what I do back to grouper cheeks, so I just spray the flat top for that. I put a little. Normally we do a little blackened seasoning. I have 2 blackened seasonings I use. I could make my own, and I've done that in the past. But Chef Paul Prudhomme has a blackened redfish seasoning,
Okay.
a little small skinny bottle. Or Old Bay now has a blackened seasoning.
Okay.
Both of them don't have a lot of salt in them, hardly any salt at all. So I do like to put a little Big Papa smoker jalapeno salt, just a tad with it.
Yeah.
If you don't want any salt, then don't leave that out. But I spray the fish down too with that. I put the seasoning on them. I spray the fish, and you just cook them, and they cook like really quick.
Okay.
But I'm always struggling with the slaw mix. So I made these grouper cheek tacos.
I saw those. Those look pretty good.
I like the cabbage below it. Well, the problem is I'm always trying to perfect this base. And what should that base be? Well, Sherry doesn't like mayo. I can't have sour cream. So it's like, how do you make this base something that has some flavor to it? And so I'm like, okay, do I go with this oil and vinegar base, or what do I do? Well, then I get home the other night and I said, well, I'll just trick Sherry a little bit. So I used ranch dressing. So she had some light ranch dressing. So I took this cabbage slaw, just shredded cabbage mix,
Right.
like you're going to make coleslaw with.
Right.
And I put ranch dressing in it and just kind of coated it. But then I took Texas Pete, which is my favorite hot sauce,
Right.
and I just drizzled Texas Pete in it. And then I grabbed a little bit of salt and pepper, and then I put cumin in it. And then I put some fresh cilantro in it.
Ooh,
And I just tossed that together, and I just adjusted that heat with the Texas Pete until it was the right heat level, that it was hot enough for me, but not too hot for her, and whatever. Sure. And it was, you couldn't taste the ranch dressing through it. But what was nice is, we normally don't carry we try and eat healthy. So we normally don't carry mayonnaise in our refrigerator. We don't have sour cream. I'm waving my wand again because that didn't seem to work. We don't carry sour cream because I'm lactose intolerant, right? And even the ranch dressing, I shouldn't have a lot of.
Right.
But it really turned out nice. And it's something that, Sherry usually has in the cupboard because, even when the grandkids are around or my daughter, she puts ranch dressing on fucking chocolate cake, I think. It's just that generation of kids puts generation ranch dressing on everything. And so it was just amazing. And it really was just that dressing with just that. I didn't have any cheese on there. I didn't have anything on there.
Now, are these grouper cheeks very expensive?
No. Well, down here, they're not. I mean, grouper. So grouper's running right now $28.99 a pound.
Okay.
Okay. Grouper cheeks are $12.99 a pound.
Get out. Now, I figured it'd be just almost the opposite.
People don't know what they are.
Okay.
People don't know they are. But being a northern walleye fisherman, a walleye cheek is like the ultimate.
Sure.
And I
sure.
learned
Just
that
kind of like
a long
on a
time
pig.
ago. It just, yeah, right. People just don't understand. That's amazing stuff. But
I'll be
people don't
dang.
know. People don't know what they are. So they actually, when I went the other day, they only had they only had about 8 ounces of walleye cheeks, and I was worried that wasn't going to be enough. So they had some little grouper some grouper cheeks. So I grabbed some little pieces of grouper that they had in the back, which cost $28.99 a pound.
Right.
And I cooked them side by side. The grouper cheeks were much better than the grouper itself.
Really? In what way?
Well, they hold together. The texture's better from a taco standpoint. It's just overall just amazing. And I wish I could bring them back to Iowa, but we've tried that before. We've tried to freeze them. They suck.
They're just not there.
Nope. So they're just, I mean, we just do everything with them. But I mean, they're just, I mean, because a pound, it wouldn't even, 3/4 of a pound of grouper cheeks will feed Sherry and I till we're stuffed.
I'll be damned.
I mean, we could feed 3 people a pound of
No
grouper
bones
cheeks.
or anything in them?
No, nothing at all. And
I'll be damned.
that they're really tough, but as soon as you get them to 145 degrees, they're the most tender thing in the world.
They break down.
Yeah, but they don't fall apart, break down,
Right.
but they just become super tender. So they're real easy to grab and put 2 or 3 on a taco or, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate. I'm still trying to figure out what today's Super Bowl menu is. We're having a big Super Bowl party, Sherry and I.
Okay.
Yeah, just the 2 of us.
I know how that goes.
Yeah.
I think I'm riding solo for the Super Bowl tonight, so
Sure.
go get myself some sushi.
Sushi. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she said something about wings.
Ooh, wings are always good.
I
Super
mean,
Bowl food.
there's a lot of people doing some. I know on the Mac Grill they have this recipe for wings that are a 0 to 400 wing, where you put your wings on the cooker cold, set it for 400 degrees, turn it on, and when it reaches 400 degrees, your wings are done. Pretty much,
Interesting.
or somewhere to that case, or right around there.
Interesting.
And they're supposed to be really crispy and everything. So I don't know. I may do that. She wants wings. I don't care.
Speaking of wings, I was talking to somebody the other day about the price of chicken and how it's fluctuating and this and that. What are you pay? Do you know offhand what you're paying for wings now there at the restaurant?
I just looked at that this morning. Actually, the price of wings this week, first time I've ever seen it, went down on Super Bowl week.
Oh,
Interesting. I wonder why.
I have no idea. But we went from, I mean, we've been paying pretty much consistently $91 a case.
And that's a 40-pound case, correct?
That's a 40-pound case. So, I mean, in the olden days, we used to pay $60 forever.
Right.
And then it ran to 80 and $90 a case. And then at the height, we used to pay, like last year, I think we were almost $120 a case.
oh my!
I knew they got
goodness.
really expensive.
Yeah, they got really expensive during Super Bowl, and then they backed off. We backed off, and we were at $90 a case yesterday. It just backed off just a little bit, but yeah, it was interesting. We did not see a Super Bowl spike in wings.
I figured you sure would.
Yeah,
So did I.
yeah. Not sure what was going on there. Interesting. And eggs stabled. They're still expensive as shit at $211 for 30 dozen.
For how many?
30 dozen.
Now, what was your forecast price? What when you planned your menu? What was your price per egg? You know,
Yeah, I do. Um, about 90,
And they're 200 now.
211.
Wow.
Oh, good Lord.
So more than doubled.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Do the people you talk to talk about any relief in that price, or is it
They're
just
talking 20% more increase.
really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the problem with the avian flu is, I
True.
mean, the avian flu is it takes, minimum 6 months to 9 months to get new birds in and to get them laying eggs,
Yeah.
so
I was talking to a cattle friend of mine over this last past week, and talking about the price of cat beef and how expensive it is, and how that there. And I said, "Do you see any relief in there?" And he goes, "No." He says, "There's no cattle out there." He was saying like an old boner cow, hamburger cow, something you got that
yep,
you're not going to keep.
yep,
I think he was saying it's nothing for those to go 12, 1400, and
yep,
say a good fat steer, Angus Black Baldy cross steer, weighing up, perfect weights, $3,000 a
yeah.
piece.
Yeah, I just bought a truckload of brisket points on Friday. We only came up 7 cents a pound on this next truckload, but we're like, we better lock in another truckload. We're still got a couple hundred cases on one truckload, and then we got another truckload in the freezer, but we locked into another truckload. The
Right.
meat guy's like, hey, if you got a chance to get them, and if you got a chance to get them, and let's knock them out. So that's what we did.
Yeah, but he was saying there's just, I mean, like a baby calf, saying old cow that you want to get rid of, and she's got a little calf on her and stuff. Nothing for $400, $500, a head. Just, and that's just a baby calf.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it really is. So, and it just doesn't look like it takes so long for them to get back into production, and there's not. And we always say, well, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, three, it'll get back. He says there's none to get back.
Right.
Guys are getting out of the cattle business because they're so high and stuff, and
Yeah, all the inputs and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. I mean, we just gotta notice like all our bread is going up 4 to 5% April 1st.
is it really?
So that's that you get that impact coming off the eggs, and not all bread has eggs in it, but the flour and everything
Sure, I
else
never thought about that.
going up.
Never
So
thought about
I
that.
guess at some point we're going to have to raise the price of everything, but I hate price increases, but
Right.
I've been fighting off this egg thing. I still haven't priced. I'm eating it in the shorts every week on this breakfast joint, hoping that we're going to. I mean, we're still the way we're priced in. I mean, breakfast is cheap. You can produce breakfast cheap, especially
Right.
the way we're making our own sausage and stuff.
Sure.
I
Sure.
mean, we're under $2 a pound on our sausage, so we can really make breakfast cheap. And so we weren't overpriced. We're underpriced according to the market, but trying to shoot for a 25% margin, we're still under that on almost every menu item. So I could let it slide, but I am letting profits deteriorate that were there.
Right.
And I'm
What would
hearing
it be?
price.
What would it be to somebody that doesn't make any of their own stuff, just gets it off the GFS or the Cisco truck?
Oh, that sausage, they'd be paying 350, 450 a pound.
Right.
For that, they'd be paying double for that sausage. So, and we're buying a premium bacon. So they'd be paying a lot less for bacon because they wouldn't put the bacon out that we are. I mean, we're
Sure.
paying about as much as you can pay for a slice of bacon. We're paying for a slice of bacon.
But at the same time, that's why the doors are full.
That's why the seats are full, I think.
Yeah. So, speaking of, it's interesting about how the more people you get in, the more armchair warriors you get, and everybody becomes a food expert. We
Ooh,
were
you
kind of
ain't
chatting a
just a
little bit about
you
that.
ain't just a shitting about that.
What, Emma,
Hmm.
you had an experience you said last week.
Yeah. So I went to a local bakery, La Mi, I think's how you say it, right? D-Dub?
Lummy, yeah,
Yep. And they're busy. They're good. Um,
very good. Been around a
and
long time.
yeah, and they're busy. And their space is not necessarily big enough for the amount of business that they get on a Saturday morning. So they have a system in place, and they have signage everywhere, kind of telling you what the system is. You order, and you either order for here or for carry out. Um, and when you order like for there, they give you an assigned seat, and all of the tables are marked like reserved, so no one, takes them. Like they kind of have like a host situation. Um, and then you're only allowed to sit there for 45 minutes, give or take. Okay, and there's a lot of signage, and everyone kind of understood that that was how the system worked. Well, I was enjoying my meal at my table, and I had two.
There you go, Darren.
I had I experienced two different groups come in, and one of the people, like their partner went in line, and they just went and found a table, and they just sat down, um, while they went and ordered. And then the other one was a group that ordered carry out, and then they just were like, "Oh, this table is open. I'm gonna sit here." So they just sat at two open tables, and when the workers were coming around trying to place people that actually, like ordered, they have like their system, like, oh, these tables should be open. They go, they see somebody at them, and then they'd be like, hey, did you guys order for here? Were you given this table to sit at? And the groups were both like, well, no, like we just sat here because the tables were open. And the worker was like a little high school kid, so like he didn't really, say much. He just tried to like pivot and figure out where he was going to sit all the people that they
Yeah, didn't
like
want the
that.
didn't want the
Yeah,
confrontation.
right. And he was trying to fix the system that they screwed up. And both tables were loud chirpers, and they were like, why is it a crime that we sat here?
Oh boy.
And um like one lady was like, I don't understand why it's such a big deal. Like it was an empty table. I'm going to sit, like I ordered. And I was like, well, if you would have just gone in line, you would have gotten a table. Like I'm sure your husband just got a table number and you just sat at a different one. So whatever. And then the people right next to us were like the ones that ordered carry out, were like, well, I ordered my food. Like, I don't understand. Why would they didn't give me a table number at all. Like, why would they give me a table number? Or, and like, did you get it? Like, asking the other person, well, did you get a table number? And this is when I chimed in and I was like, did you guys order? Because, the tables are very close and they're talking like loud enough that it's like they want somebody to answer. And I go, did you guys order for here for to go? And she goes, well, to go. And I said, well, you order for here, they'll give you a table number. If you order to go, they're supposed to take it home. And she's like, well, I ordered to go and I wanted to sit down. And I was like, then you should have ordered it for here. Like that just seems like common sense, right? And it was just one of those situations of where like they were chirping about how, well, this system doesn't seem like it's very well put together and like this and that, and we're complaining about the business. It's like it's the business's fault that they mess up the system, and like it's not. They were like, and I'm not saying this is like a well-oiled machine or anything, but they had it down. Like I don't know if that's the system I would have in place, but for their situation, they had it down pretty well, and they didn't have any conflicts until these two people or these two groups, took over. And those two groups started chirping about how they're like, this system isn't very good, and like, why would they do that, and this and that, and they're like, this doesn't seem very customer friendly. And I was like, do you guys realize that you guys are the reason the system isn't working? You're over here like complaining about something that you messed up. And it's just one of those moments where I really realized that people think they're entitled, um, and like it's their world, and we're all just living in it, And
Sure.
it as somebody who, I mean, I do this podcast with you guys, and I've worked in the food business quite a bit myself. It was just like it took everything in me not to be like, you guys are the problem.
Right.
Like the reason
Exactly.
this doesn't work
Right.
is because of you guys. And I'm with one of my friends, and they're like, it's okay, like, but they were like, maybe it isn't a good system, and I'm looking at her like, that's not the problem. Then she's like, are you like, well, that happened twice, and I said, yeah, that's still not the problem.
Everybody else seems to be flowing right along. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Like,
that's the problem is no matter what the system is, no matter what that's the problem with any fast casual or order at the
yeah,
counter place. Nobody gets it. You can put all the signage up in the world, but people are still stupid. Okay, because they still don't read, they still don't understand it,
well,
Or they
yeah,
don't
and
want to understand it. They
or
don't
they
want to
don't want to
understand.
understand it. They want it
I
their
think it's more
way.
like that.
Yes, exactly.
Because all the
Exactly.
tables were marked reserved so that nobody would just sit in them, you know? So, like, they
Uh-huh.
were like, this table is reserved for whoever we assign it to, right? Like that. And that makes sense. But these people were like, one of them moved the reserve sign and was like, why is this here? And I was like, can you read?
Jesus.
Like, can you read? And it's just, yeah, it's just one of those where, like, you really start to notice that like, people just really do think that the problem is everybody else. And, like, they don't have to follow suit, you know? Which, it was just one of those things of where it really grind my gears. Because I was like, there was a sign right in front of them that said, please be seated by an employee, you know?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
please get an assigned
Just as
table.
you come in the door, I'm sure.
Yeah, there was 3 signs just as you come in the door.
Sure.
There was one on the
Right.
door, there was one in line, and then they got them plastered on the walls as you're going through this line. And then for the lady that ordered takeout to be like, well, I just wanted to, like, yeah, I ordered to go, but, like, I wanted to sit down. And it's like, do you know what to go means? Like, that defeats the entire purpose. You can
That's
order
the concept.
you can order for there and still get to go boxes. Like, it's not like you can't take your food with you, but
So what happened? Did they stay and bitch until?
yeah, they stayed and bitched until we finished our food, and then I was like, we have to get out of here. I chugged my coffee. I was like, I can't listen to these people complain
Ruined it.
anymore.
Oh,
Yeah. And my friend was like, are you sure? And because, like, she was done, and we were just kind of sitting and sipping, and I was like, yeah, I gotta go. Because it struck a nerve that I didn't even know I had. Because I was
Sure.
like, this is not my place. But it's just, and we talk about, you know, all these customers all the time, leaving reviews and doing stuff like this. And it's like, it just baffles me that, I don't know. I could never do that myself. Just sit there and be like, well, the problem's the system, when it's like, you messed up the system. There was no problem with the system. The system was working just fine.
You know, so right, because the restaurant, as a restaurateur, we're trying to develop a system that is the balance between a customer and your needs. We got to make money, so they have limited space. Okay, so you got to deal with the limited space. So you're trying to figure out, how can I turn those tables the best, therefore the 45 minutes. Okay, because I want to turn the tables. If I don't turn the tables, people just walk by and I lose business. And if I lose business, I still need to be able to, because some people want to sit, right?
Yeah.
And 45 minutes for a coffee and a pastry is probably plenty enough. They're just saying, hey, we don't want to be the
bored
farmers.
shitless.
We don't want to be the farmers cafe where people are sitting around and drink coffee for hours and hours and hours. Right. And we have the same issue. And, you know, I have the same guys that go to breakfast with, and the whole group, and they go to the Ankeny Cafe during the week, and they sit there for 3 or 4 hours.
Do they
right?
really?
And then they come to our place on the weekend, but they know, they're like, hey, our timer just started. Right. Darren says we got to be out of here in an hour, you know, so they come at 7:00. I said, guys, if the tables aren't all full, you can sit here as long as you want.
Yeah,
But
it's
as
like
soon as you see
situational
somebody
awareness.
waiting, then get your ass out of here.
You need to
Right?
get out of there.
You
Yeah.
can
That
keep
just-
drinking my coffee. I don't care. But just it's the common. It's
it's situational awareness, you know?
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
so
a good
so let
point.
me so let me give you a thing about situational awareness. Okay, this happened to us in Cape Coral the other night. So Sherry and I were running around, whatever, and here it is, like normal, 6:30 at night, and okay, what are we going to have for dinner? Okay, and we're out and about. Okay, and so I'm like, let's just go to this Keg and Cow, which is kind of it's a microbrew place that they have brews on tap, but they also have burgers and chicken and whatever.
Sure.
So we get there, and I mean, it's a beautiful night, just like every day in Cape Coral this time of year. It's 82 and a low of 64, and
He was complaining about the weather last week.
everything's
I'd
beautiful.
just like to make
I
sure
mean,
that-
oh yeah, I mean, we
It
saw.
was cold
we
last
actually,
week.
Can you hear the pool going? I need to shut the pool off. But it's so horrible here that I saw a cloud once last week. Don't worry, it passed. We got it.
You know how
it
we
passed.
started this conversation on situational awareness?
Yeah, right. So anyway, so situation. So we go to the Keg and Cow, right? And right behind us walks in this gal with her dog friendly patio. Okay. Now, Emma, I will tell you, is big on dog friendly patios. I will tell
I am.
you, Darren fucking hates dog friendly patios. Because
To
what
each
if I'm
their own.
allergic? What if I'm allergic to dogs? What if I'm allergic to
I mean,
dogs?
my dog. If it's a
Doesn't
wet-
matter. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so this gal brings in this fucking mutt. Okay, it was a mutt. It was a lab. It was a big dog, lab, and it was just a mutt, right? And this dog starts barking and whining and barking and whining.
Oh, geez.
There's probably 60 people on this patio. That fucking dog whined and barked. We're there an hour. The entire fucking time.
okay,
And the owner of that dog did nothing.
Now that's
did
what
nothing.
pisses you off.
Did nothing
yeah,
at
okay.
all to control
I-
that dog. Almost to the point that I'm like, every table kept looking over it, and she was kind of this 20-something-year-old girl just sitting there talking to her friend. And I just wanted to walk over and go, hey, dog's fucking barking and ruining everybody's meal experience. I mean, we were at the other end of the patio, and we could hardly have a conversation between us. This dog is barking and just I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Okay,
How
Are
rude
you
can they be?
kidding me? I mean,
That-
I mean,
that's-
it's like I just wanted to go fucking take a dump at the end of the table, saying, "Does this stink? Oh, you notice that?" I mean, it's like really.
I will take your side on that one. So when I decide to take Twyla to a patio, it's one, she's got to be exhausted, and or two, there's a good chance I'm not necessarily enjoying myself because I'm on high alert to make sure that she is the most well-behaved dog, so that everybody else can have, their own can have their experience, their their time out, because you're right. I'm not there to ruin everybody else's time, if I'm going to take my dog, to a dog friendly patio, it's like somebody with a baby. Like, I'm not saying that dogs and kids are the same. I'm not saying that. But it's like when you see a baby crying, like, you see the mom tend to it. Like, that's what the dog needed, attention, and
Right.
I understand the not giving it attention, but when you're in a public setting like that, you have to think, like, there's no way that everyone else is okay with this, because yeah, you might be used to him barking and whining, but like, other people didn't sign up for that.
For the
in that
barking and
moment.
whining. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like going to the farmer's market in Cape Coral. Really, I mean, really, what it is, it's a fucking dog fighting match. because
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
you're constantly stopping because it's so crowded. But people, and they don't bring one dog; they got to bring fucking 2 or 3 dogs, and they're on fucking leashes, and then on their dogs, like every time they see another dog, fuck, whatever, and so you have to stop and walk around the outside of them and whatever. I'm like,
I
situational awareness. Do you ever
yeah.
understand that maybe people don't give a fuck if you leave your dog at home?
Yeah, I used to take Twyla to the farmers market. I've only taken her a couple of times, but it was in those couple of times where I realized that it's like it's almost like it's too much work. Cause yeah, one time I took her, she got the shits and shit on the sidewalk, like running shit, and that was traumatizing. And I was with my entire family. Granted, it was raining, but I had tried so hard not to cry in that moment because we were just at the height of the farmers market, and she just diarrhea shit like 10 steps. I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go crawl into a hole and die, but fine. Um, but it's just yeah, like I just it's hard for I've learned that it's harder for me to enjoy myself because yeah, it's like the situational awareness. I'm aware that no one else signed up for, you know, my dog being there. So like I'm working extra hard to make sure that everyone else still is enjoying their time. So like when I take Twyla to the farmers market, she's like I have a harness that has a handle and she's next to me and I'm not having fun. I will admit I like a leisurely walk. She does not. She likes a sprint. So we don't have a good time at the farmers market together. But it's like yeah, but there's even some dogs where the owners, will be talking to a vendor and their dog will be they let that leash fly and those dogs are wandering and it's just it is one of those things where I get it, like as somebody who's very like I want my dog everywhere all the time. I do understand that it's a time and a place. Like my dog doesn't need to come with me everywhere all the time, even though I would like her to. And the whole patio situation that happens even at there's like in Des Moines itself. There's the dog brewery, that Paws and Pints. Great place, big fan. I take Twyla. Um, I mean, not as much as I used to, but I take Twyla there. And even there, where it's like the dogs are supposed to be free, there's still situations where I'm like, the owners don't understand. They still have to be paying attention to their dogs. I had one time, this little lap dog was trying to mount my beast of a dog. And she was like, Mom, looking at me like, Mom, get this rat off me. And I kept pulling this dog off of her, right? And the owner was sitting across the park reading a damn book. I was like, hey man, your dog is bothering everybody else at this park.
He's a horny little bastard.
Yeah, can you get a hold of this? Like, come on. But, it's just one of those things of where like they think like, oh, just because, I'm at a place that allows my dog, they're going to accept how my dog acts. And it's like, no, that's not how that works.
That's not how that works. No.
Yeah. Well, I think in that case, and I'd be carrying what's that bottle of shit that you take, before a colonoscopy, I'd be having a bottle of that and say, here, dog, you want a drink? And fucking
have a little sip.
Here, bet you have fun with this in about 45 minutes, owner.
When you get in the car on the way home.
When you get in the fucking car and the dog starts fucking blowing shit. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
That's just how I think.
Yeah. But it's all situational awareness. Like, you just notice that so many people lack it. And it's one of those where it's just like, I could never. And maybe that's just because I'm such like in like social situations, my situational awareness is heightened drastically because I get, nervous and I want to, make sure I'm not bothering anybody. But shit, some of them, I'm like, there's no way that you think that they're the problem.
Like, so did she ever do anything with her dog, Darren?
No, that fucking mutt was crazy. The entire time we left, that fucking mutt was still fucking
barking and whining.
When it wasn't barking, it was woo, 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 like it was in fucking pain. Huh. And she's just sitting there fucking talking to her friend.
Just like nothing's wrong.
That's even worrisome because Like there could have
And
been
I should have
something.
known better because when we pulled up, she pulled up in the car next to us, and
Uh-huh.
that fucking dog was in the back seat barking when the dog pulled up.
Oh, so that dog just barks.
And I'm just like, why? I mean, she ruined everybody's fucking meal
That's too
and the
bad.
entire place.
And it is one of those things where, like, yeah, even the employees, like, they, you could complain to them all you want, but like the second they go to confront her, it's just going to cause a scene because she's going to be
It's
like,
go-
"Well, it's a dog-friendly patio.
Yeah,
Why
it's
Right.
going
can't
to
my
be a
So
dog be
ruckus.
so
here?"
so to me, if I was the owner, I have things saying, "Hey, if your dog can't behave and not bark and whatever, then you
Well,
probably shouldn't be on the patio."
some of them do that.
Do they really?
Like, yeah, I feel like it's just common courtesy.
I
Yeah,
mean, down
dogs are gonna
here, I
bark.
mean,
People are
it's
gonna yap,
everywhere.
but
Fucking people can't go to the fucking store without taking their goddamn
Dragging the
dog
dog
there.
along. That always
sounds like a
amazes
dream
me.
come true.
And I always wondered that why people go to the farmer's market. It's a crowded situation, and everybody,
Well,
about 3/4, brings their dogs. And it ends up,
sometimes
like you said, dog fights and just all kinds of fuckery.
if I go early enough, I'll take Twyla. If I go like towards the beginning of it when it's not so busy, I'll take her because it's
Goes
also
back
like
to
a
you're aware of
yeah,
it.
and like it's still one of those things where like the farmers market, it's an outdoor walk, you know. Like yeah, we're stopping but like that, it feels like if I'm gonna get
It's
that
an
exercise,
outdoor walk.
yeah. I
Don't
mean,
you
it's
have
are you gonna
parks?
tell me? Yeah, but like it's still like I don't know, I like to take Twyla on those things. And I like when everyone else is like, "Oh my god, your dog is so cute." I'm like, "Thank you."
That's exactly what it is, though, right?
It, maybe, but
It's like
I'm
me.
situationally aware of
It's
Twyla's
like me.
habits.
It's like me taking the grandson or the granddaughter to
Yeah.
the grocery store, right?
Yeah, you're
Because
just
everybody's like, "Oh, he's so cute," and
yeah.
as they bend
And
over,
you know what's gonna be funny is that my mom's gonna listen to this episode and be like, "Oh, sweetie, you take that dog to the farmer's market when you shouldn't," or something like that. But
right?
I'm getting better. She didn't go at all last year, I don't think. But she's also starting to mellow out. I don't know. It's just like my thing. Back to the like, why do they always want to take the dogs? She, she is a part of me, you know, in a way like that. She's my buddy. Like we do everything together because I like the companionship, and I don't like to do stuff all alone all the time, you know. And so like I'm like, oh well, I'll just take my dog because yeah, she can't talk, but I can feel like her presence, and I can talk to her. She won't respond, but we have conversations all the
Well,
time.
that fucking dog at the dog park the other day sure responded every fucking. He was trying to say something, wasn't getting through to
Twyla's,
its owner though.
Telling
yeah,
everybody except the owner. Yeah.
You would think the
the
gal
cry
would
for
have
help.
noticed every table looking around at her.
Giving her the stink
If I
eye.
would have been
You know
sitting at that
what?
fucking table next to him, oh my god, I would have fucking said,
And to be her friend,
"Dog need something."
who probably is trying not to cross a line and be like, hey, you need to get your dog to stop talking or to stop barking. But like, you don't want to overstep and like piss off your friend to be like, hey, you need to get a handle on your dog. Because like, I would be in that, if I was in that situation, knowing myself, I see this dog barking, I would maybe try to like under the table give it some attention and be like, hey, knock it off. But if like it goes on for so long and the owner's still not doing anything, depending on who it is, there's a good chance I'm still not saying anything and I'm just shooting her looks like, can you handle this? Because I would
Yeah,
be too scared for the confrontation because I'm a big fat chicken.
I should have
But
wrote her a note and said, "Thanks for ruining everybody on this patio's meal. Maybe pay more attention to your fucking dog."
yeah, like
And
that's what that, I mean,
slipped her a note and walked out.
like that dog needed something. And maybe it was just, you know, it wanted attention, it wanted food, but at some point
Well, then feed the fucking dog.
you gotta assess that situation. But
Yeah, it was bad. It was. I've
Huh.
never seen anything
I'm
like
not
it before.
anti-dog friendly patios, but your dog has to be. You either have to accept that you're not gonna have a good time because you are making sure that your dog is well behaved, or your dog just needs to be well behaved. You know,
I guarantee one
like
thing: I will never go back to Keg and Cow and sit on the patio again.
There you
just
go.
because of one bad experience.
Yeah, Well, you want to have a dog friendly patio? You knock yourself out. It'll be without Darren.
There was one, you know what? There's
That's
one
the
place
chance.
Without
in
Darren.
That's your chance you take being an owner, right?
right. Well, there's one place in Des Moines that has a dog friendly patio. I think it's called, I can't think of what it's called. But mom and I went with our dogs, with Miles and Twyla, and we go to this dog friendly patio, and they say it's dog friendly. It was really like kind of a pain in the butt to get the dogs on the patio, whatever. Totally fine. Well, then this patio is a playground for kids. So they made a dog friendly, kid friendly patio, which is great, which is great. However, I will never take my dog back because not necessarily because she was well behaved, but like kids were just coming up and like, like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
just
can I pet your
grabbing
dog, like,
whatever.
and
Yeah,
grabbing her. And she's used to that stuff because I've done a lot of work with her on that. But it's like if you get the wrong dog, that's a bad
You got a
situation,
little
yeah,
right?
problem there.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden
So
it'll be somebody's fault because the
yeah,
kid got bit. Your dog bit me. Well, yeah, I didn't know that your
y-
kid smacked and pulled the dog's ear and whatever. Nobody
yeah,
saw
Right.
like
that.
exactly. So it's like one of those situations where just because it says dog friendly doesn't necessarily mean it is dog friendly either. Like
Right.
that's not that's like haven't yeah, that was just not a place for them, and I will probably never take her back just because yeah, it's a playground. But
Yep. So what else is going
yes.
on, Randall? Anything else?
Well,
Busy week?
yeah, it has been. We've been fairly busy, mainly this weekend. Yesterday we had 3 events and a large, really large 200, went from 100 up to 250 and ended up at 290
Ooh,
catering.
nice.
And was a nice one. And then again, we finished up last weekend. We did our pork steak for 272, and that turned out really well.
Turned out good.
Yeah, turned out real well. Um, so yeah, we've been pretty busy, and started this week was going to be not much going on, and I'm busy all the way through Thursday now. So, which is a good thing.
Ooh,
Oh,
that
A
is
lot
a
of
good thing.
lot of last minute stuff, which is, I mean, we can handle that. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's just me,
right.
and we can handle those last minute deals, and works out pretty good for us. So,
Yeah, I was looking at today. I was looking at just, I don't know, I was screwing through and, when you get pre-orders in, they come across as not catering orders, but just people have online ordered for today. And we've got $2,500 in pre-orders
do
already
you really?
just
Is it
for
all
Super
wings?
Bowl stuff. No, whole pits. I
Oh,
mean,
that makes sense.
we got a
That
ton
makes
of whole
sense.
pits, which is our whole platter and everything going out. I mean, a lot of wings too, but I'm like, I need to call back and make sure somebody's paying attention to those because there's a lot of 4:30 p.m. There's like 10 whole pits picking up at the same time. So, we're famous for when those online orders, those are all going to release to the kitchen 20 minutes prior.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
And they're all going to hit 20 minutes prior. Well, somebody needs to go manipulate those orders in the system and make them release further out because we can, the side dishes, we can have those all prepped
yeah,
up and in the warmer ready to go. And the meats, we
Right.
could actually do the same thing and we could have that stuff all staged ready to go instead of trying to blow it out and get killed all at once because we're going to have a
yeah,
million walk-in wing orders.
Sure.
yeah.
Sure you are.
So I don't know. We don't really promote Super Bowl at all. We get so much business, carry out wing business that we don't even try and promote specials and whatever just because
Right.
we're so damn busy with carry out. And then once the game
Busy
starts,
anyway with the carry
you're
out.
done. They're like, hey, do you want to stay open for the whole game? I'm like, no, because you're going to have 5 people in the place. And we're
Right.
not going to stay open for 5 people. So
So you'll close early tonight?
no, we'll close our normal
No,
time, which will end up being halftime or whatever. Probably, I don't even know
Okay.
what time's the game even start.
5 Eastern, I believe.
5 Eastern?
that's
Yeah.
not right.
That sounds way early.
Yeah, that's not right. No offense, Randy. It starts at 5:30 p.m. Central.
5:30 Central. Okay.
5:30 Central, so which is 6:30 Eastern, which I
Right.
might make halftime. I probably won't even watch the damn game.
It's gonna be. I'm wearing my Eagles shirt today.
You are?
Well, I got 2 Jason Kelsey T-shirts, and one of them says "Go Birds," so I'm gonna wear that one. I
Huh.
think. I I'm rooting. I am. I mean, yeah. I I don't hate the Chiefs. I don't hate the Chiefs. However,
But you're going to a Chiefs bar for breakfast?
I am. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I might
Yep.
not wear my
It
Eagles
makes
shirt
it makes
there.
sense. Yeah, probably
Hey, that
shouldn't.
was Mom's pick. Um, it's just it'd be fun to see somebody else win. Yeah, they could make history, but like
Yeah, I mean
it'd
people
be
people hate the, I mean that's what happens when you're that's what happens when you're successful, that
yeah.
people root against you. And fine, I mean
Exactly.
I could care less. I have no
Well,
skin in the game at all. And people will
it,
say, oh, the refs gave him the game, the refs gave him the game. It's a game,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
you
We were
know
talking about to circle back to the situational awareness.
yeah.
yeah. Let's hear it.
You were telling us you had something like that complaint come in, or a concern come in this week.
Oh, about the yeah. So we had a customer send me a email at Smoky D's and he said, "Hey, have you changed your recipe on your chicken tenders?" He sends me an email to info at Smoky D's, which I get all those emails, and I'm like, "No, why?" And he goes, "Well, they just weren't as sweet as they used to be, and they came out a little greasier." I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, uh-oh, battery going low. What's going on
Mm-hmm.
here? Hang on.
Okay.
Hold on. Plug into the power strip and battery won't go dead." Um, so I'm like, well, so he goes, "I heard you make your chicken tenders with Captain Crunch." And I said, "Well, so here's the deal." I said, "We do make our chicken tenders with Captain Crunch, but you can't do 100% Captain Crunch because it's all sugar and it will turn black in the fryer if you fry till the chicken tender's done." So I said, "We mix it half and half with panko." And I said, "So, if somebody didn't get and we mix this breading in 5-gallon buckets. So it's a 50-50 mix of panko and Captain Crunch that's been pulverized in a food processor. So they mix this up." I said, "If they didn't get it mixed up, then you could have got more panko than thing. I mean, there's people involved in this,
Sure.
so maybe it wasn't quite as sweet, but, I mean, that could happen. But if something came out greasy, then chances are, there may have been a problem with the fryer, or they just got done frying a ton of stuff and all of a sudden the fryer hadn't recuperated enough."
Right.
Right. And so they dropped the chicken tenders in that fryer and the oil wasn't hot enough and it came out greasy. Of course, they should have never served that. But if it got through the fryer and it got through the expediter and got to you, it shouldn't have happened. But instead, he's like, and so we're going back and forth. Over 2 days, we're going back and forth on this thing because I would reply to him. 6 or 8 hours later, he'd reply to me. I'd reply back to him. In the meantime, his wife goes out and leaves us a 2-star review.
Really.
Now, the guy had, and I knew it was the same order, but the guy had made it well known that he had been with us for years and years and years and never had a bad meal. And his wife made it known on the review that she'd been with for years and never had a bad meal. So I'm like, okay, so you've been with us for, a long, long time. And I'm sure you've left 5 million 5-star reviews, but you had one bad experience. And instead of going, hey, these aren't right.
Which
Hey,
is
these
what
aren't,
he did.
these
Oh, I
aren't,
guess.
well,
Well,
but
not in
no,
the
but
moment. You're
right.
right.
But then I find out later, I'm like, hey, can you give me some exact times so I can try and pinpoint this issue? And he goes, yeah, I was sending you that email from your bar.
Oh.
You're sending the email to the bar. Well, if you're sending the email to the bar, why didn't you just ask the bartender? Why didn't you just say, "Hey, these aren't right"? Because everybody is instructed in our restaurant. If something is wrong, make it right. End of
Exactly.
story. Just make it right. Make it right. Remake it. Get them something else. Don't even question it. Make it right. We do it every day. Because when you serve that many people and there's that many people involved in the serving process and prep process, there's going to be things that are going to be fucked up.
Sure.
You serve
Sure.
1,000 people in a day, 2 or 3, 4 things are going to get fucked up in a day. Just going to happen,
Just
right?
gonna
As fast as we're moving food through that place, it's just going to happen. It's part of the business. It's all on how you react to a problem, right? And we're all on the same pages. When there's a problem, you fix it, right? And I'm all about fixing it. But so you're sending me an email message from my bar. Why won't you just, you had a bad experience? Why wouldn't you say, hey, these are really greasy? Because there's people walking by 100 times. There's a bartender right in front of you. Hey, these aren't normal. And the
Wow.
bartender would have said, would you like me to get you some more? Because that's exactly what they would have said. And all you'd have to say is, that'd be great. And they would have walked over the window and said, hey, I need an order of chicken tenders on the fly. Right?
And you had them right out.
And would have had them out
Mm-hmm.
hot and fresh and everything been taken care of and nobody would ever. But instead, his wife goes out and leads a 2-star review. And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm not willing to. Now you leave me a 2-star review. Okay, now I'm not really interested in helping you anymore. Right? Because you're not going to take away your 2-star review. You've already dinged me for it. So what do I have to gain? Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? I mean, I can go back and say, hey, is that your wife that left the 2-star review? I mean, I was just going to give you a gift card. Is that, does she delete that? I mean, shit happens. Why didn't you, it's just like you want to get, and I'm the one to challenge the customer. Most people and the people that, run say, oh, you should never challenge your customers on reviews. Fuck that. If they're being stupid, I'm going to make them fucking look stupid.
Right.
Right? Because if they're stupid, I want everybody else to see how stupid they are. Now, we had one the other day that I was like, okay, here goes somebody on the breakfast restaurant because we have a $5 plate charge.
Right.
Right? And we make
Yes.
it well known that, because split meals don't pay the rent. It says that on the menu.
It does say that.
Right?
I can
Because
actually.
we get people in, and I've got a menu right in front of me, right? So we have a menu here that says additional plate charge $5 because split meals don't pay the rent. So you can buy a lighter side menu, which is a pick 3 options. So you can get an egg, a slice of bacon, a sausage link, a half slice of ham, a half slice toast, a small pancake, a half order hash browns, breakfast potatoes, whatever. $5.99. So if you want to eat light, you can get. If you want to eat light, you can get 1 egg, a slice of bacon, and a half a slice of toast. Or you can get
Sure.
1 egg, you can get 1 scrambled egg, you can get a half an order of hash browns of bacon. You would not believe how many times during the week people wanting to split that fucking meal.
Really?
They want to split that meal and they get fucking pissed and walked out when we're like, well, you're going to have to pay a $5 charge. They want to occupy 2 seats in my restaurant so that they can eat breakfast for $2.50. Well, I'm sorry, but I just soon put somebody in that seat that's going to pay $5.99 each.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like getting the customer to understand. And I've held a pretty hard line on it. Now, we had one that left us a thing saying, I bought 2 full meals and then I asked for an extra plate for the Pop-Tart. Well, why did you need an extra plate for a Pop-Tart?
Yeah, just use your.
Right?
That's the one I think I just read.
Right. So anyway, so I went back and I said, hey, extra plates for that. Now we get a lot of people saying, hey, I just want to split this meal and I want a Pop-Tart. So they're questioning when the plate charge went. And it's really just a matter of whatever. But if you've ordered 2 full meals and you want a plate for a Pop-Tart, give them a plate. We're not plate Nazis here. Right?
Right.
We're not, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, here's somebody that wants to order this $5.99 and then they want a Pop-Tart, and then you want an extra plate. I don't understand why you need the extra plate, because your toast would have came on an extra plate anyway. So you have an extra plate sitting there that your toast would have been on. So
Oh,
why do you?
okay. Okay.
So the gal goes off and she goes, she's pissed. We just took our Pop-Tart and ate it at home. Okay, so here we are trying to figure out this out after the fact. She's like, no, we had a triple pancake and we had this, and then we want a Pop-Tart and they charge. Well, if that's really the case, then then we got a server problem. Why are we trying to charge this $5?
Yeah.
So now, guess what I get to do now? I get to go spend 2 hours trying to search and find this order to make sure what she's saying is
Yay.
legit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well,
It's amazing
guys.
how. Do you feel like people sometimes come in, Darren, and try to figure out how to beat the system?
Every day.
Oh, every day. So we purposely we didn't put menu prices on our add-on menu items, because a la carte. If you put a la carte prices out there, right, then people just want to order everything a la carte. And if you order something a la carte, all our a la carte prices are pretty cheap, because I based them, like, you can buy an egg for $1. You can buy 2 slices of bacon for $2. Okay. Even though 2 slices of bacon cost me 75, almost 80 cents for 2 slices of bacon, my cost. You can buy them for $2. Anywhere else is going to cost you $4 and $5. But it's $2 because I'm insinuating that it's an add-on. You've already bought a full meal, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, you already bought a meal from me. I'm going to give you a really great price if you want something a little additional extra, right?
Yeah.
I've already made my profit on you. Well, people are constantly just, I want the side, okay, fine. You want it that way? Guess what? Bacon's $4 as an add-on. But I'm just going to change the prices. I'm just fed up to the point that, you know what? I'm just going to add 30% to every menu item I'm going to put on, and you guys got it your way. I was trying to be economical to the customer, and 90% of the people do it, but the 10% are trying to fuck me and are causing all the motion. And the only ones that ever give out the 1 and 2 star reviews that drags your reviews down, the only ones that ever drag it down are the ones that are somebody that's not following the system and want something for nothing or want something cheap.
Try to beat it.
They're trying to beat the system. So you want to beat the system? Okay, I'll make it so you can't beat the system. All those add-on prices are going, I'll post the menus. They're going up, and the servers are going to go, oh my God, you just raised the price of bacon $2. You wanted it.
Yeah.
Right? You wanted it. Here, knock yourself out. Nobody's going to add them on anymore. Right?
Right.
I mean, what's right? What's wrong? I'm just trying to give customers a great deal, but I can't put the prices on there, because if you put the prices on there, people are going to go, no, why is this cheaper than this?
Yeah.
Because then it's up to the waitress to explain to them. And if you get the waitress to explain to them the method behind the madness of why you have a plate charge, the method behind why is an add-on item so cheap? Well, because, we believe in value, and you've already bought this.
Yeah, you've already bought a meal.
So you can't buy you can't buy a Pop-Tart for $3.99, which isn't even on the menu, but you can't buy a Pop-Tart and then put 2 eggs, 2 bacon, and whatever on there. And when people try and do that, it just drives me crazy. No, you can't do that. Here, buy this menu. But it's cheaper doing it this way. Every time I hear it's cheaper doing it this way, no, it's your job as a server to say, no, I can't put in the order that way. I can't do it that way.
Exactly.
But confrontation, so we get these people, they get pissed. I mean, we had somebody come in this week too that ordered they came in hot roast beef special. Okay. Hot roast beef, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans. I want a sub, and I noticed on our menu, it doesn't say no substitutions. Well, now I have to put no substitutions. Well, I don't like green beans. I want cottage cheese. Well, we can get you an extra side of cottage cheese. No, I want to sub my green beans for cottage cheese. Sorry, we can't do that. Gets up and leaves. Pissed off.
Right.
I mean, are you really gonna? You came in to eat a hot beef, whatever, which is $10.99 for half a hot beef, right? You're really gonna leave because I wouldn't sub? Because if I allow one person to sub it, now all of a sudden
Everybody's got to sub it.
everybody subs it, and people don't understand that, So it's like, okay, walk out, but you're really gonna be pissed off. I mean, why don't you just order a cottage cheese?
Trying to beat the system.
What's the problem? Even though the green beans cost me 10 cents and the cottage cheese cost me 75 cents, but you don't care about that,
No, not at all.
right?
Nope.
I mean, I could put substitutions allowed on side dishes plus $2.
Like everybody
That
else.
make you happy?
That's what everybody else does.
I just don't understand. Yeah, I know. I don't want to be everybody else. I'm still trying to add value. I'm still trying to add value.
But if maybe that's what you have to do is be like everybody else, so that gets through everybody's noggin. But
Just frustrating.
it is. People are frustrating.
People are frustrating. Why can't they just raise their hand? What's up again? They can sure go home and get on their fucking computer and type.
Yeah, because
Why can't they just go? Why can't they just go? Hey, I got a problem.
Help me out here.
Help me out. Hey, this isn't right. I mean, I just trying to figure out.
Perceive it as right.
I was just trying to figure out how we could figure out something in a big restaurant that would shoot up a flag or something saying, "Hey, I just need to talk to somebody here." Without raising a big flag or stink or whatever. I don't want to call a manager because that looks like whatever, but it's okay, right? It's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's we're not gonna spit in your food. We're not mad about it. We just want to make it right.
Make it right with you. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And I personally don't do that either. I don't.
I don't
do it either. But then again, I'm not going to go leave this shitty ass review either.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I don't know. I just hate reviews in general.
True.
They just require a lot of investigation because half of them are bullshit anyway.
Right.
Especially like we talked about. I think we talked about that last week, where people are purposely going out to businesses or favor Republican or Trump MAGA or whatever, and they're leaving bad reviews. Really? I mean,
they're hurting a business.
Trying to hurt a business based on, that's really.
I just don't understand the attacking someone's livelihood necessarily. That's where you lose me there.
Yeah. Well, because you're not.
You don't have to support it.
You might be after that owner.
Yeah.
But now you've hurt every single employee. You hurt every single server.
Everybody else gets
every
the
dishwasher. Do you think they're all? That's why we just always kind of take the middle of the road on everything. But
right.
And we always.
And that's what you should do as a business.
Yeah, take the middle road.
And I just don't. You lose me on that. Like I don't understand the need to. I don't understand the need to attack somebody because of their political beliefs. Just because you don't agree with it, just don't go there.
Boy, they're vicious though. They're vicious, man.
Just don't go there. Just don't give them your money. Just because you don't give them your money doesn't mean somebody else can't.
Right.
It's just.
Oh, it's become
everyone's opinions.
It's become division, man. There's a big division thing. It's like, whew.
Yeah.
It's rough.
It's rough because, and the problem is everybody's so uneducated on the whole thing. It's just everybody's just getting the shallow top. That's been the hot topic of the week is how can Elon Musk have access to these systems? And I'm like, you're not even worried about what the wasteful spending is. You're
No,
worried
no.
that he could see what the spending was. You're not worried about the spending because we all disagree the spending wasn't right. Right?
Yeah.
We can all agree the spending wasn't right, but you can't get to that point because you're just worried that somebody had access to look at the spending.
Yeah.
That's why I want to go. Do you know what we were spending it on? Maybe you would pay less in taxes if we weren't spending it on this.
On senseless stuff.
Maybe you'd get a lot. Maybe you wouldn't have to pay any taxes at all if we just get rid of most of it. I'm not saying get rid of all government spending. Let's help the needy where it's needed. But I guarantee fucking creating Sesame Street show in Venezuela is not a government funded issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Pivoting. We're towards the end of the episode where we find out if Randy has an acronym or not.
No, I don't. I don't.
Okay.
Okay. We finally put a shit can in this acronym.
Yep.
If I
That
come
segment
across
has
a
died.
good one from time to time, I'll bring it up. But otherwise, I just haven't been able to
Yep,
Focus.
I agree. I think
collaborate.
that segment has died. Anyway, well, do you guys have anything else?
Nope.
Yeah, we could go on for an hour today and create 2 episodes.
I got things to do, people to see, places to eat.
You got brunch.
Yeah.
I
All right. Well,
I got to go on a walk and get intertwined with
See?
some dogs fighting.
There
Yeah.
you go.
farmers market. All right. Well, if you guys haven't already, follow us on social media at Cue the Mic Pod. Find us on YouTube at Cue the Mic Podcast. Like, follow, subscribe, do all the things. You know the drill. Randy, take it away, my guy.
Boom. Out of here. Done. Finished. Over with.
Boom. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Even though you
Hasta
la
know
vista.
still Monday, we'll know if the Chiefs cheated or not come tomorrow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they always
Okay.
cheat because they're winners.
Yeah.
I'm not even a Chiefs fan. I could give a
Hey,
shit
you
less.
said it, not me. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week.
Adios.